Now it's a podcast.
And you know what that means.
Roll the intro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my name's Zach.
And my name is also Nick.
And this is Careless Opinion Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is there, bud.
Presented by She Killed the Podcast.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's the whole organization. That's it. It's like
That's
two
it.
people.
Yeah, it's two people. Yeah,
It's
it's
kind
not
of a
much-
crappy one. No, we're not good at this. So, like all good podcasts.
Like all good podcasts,
What you drinking, dear bud?
I am drinking a hard seltzer.
Mm.
It is called F Cancer,
Okay.
and it is of the strawberry variety.
Oh.
What are you sipping on there, Zach?
You know, it's funny you ask, because I too am drinking a seltzer
What?
called F Cancer. And it too is of the strawberry variety.
Do you like it?
Oh, that's pretty good, dude.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good there, bud.
It's pretty good there, bud.
It's really good, actually. So, what's our topic? Tell me.
Movies.
That shaped us. So, we're going to be talking about different movies that we feel like have a really big effect on us, as well as, in general, just like a cultural effect. I think it's a good one. There's a lot to cover here. We don't have long to cover it, so we're going to dive in. Let's start with the best movie of all time that shaped us, Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Oh my god.
Straight up.
Look, if you haven't seen Zoolander, you're not living your best life.
No.
Spoiler warning for Zoolander. It's about a model who's just a freaking idiot. He's just so stupid.
This movie so much.
It's so good. It's got Ben Stiller, Zoolander. It's got Owen Wilson as Han Solo. And spoiler warning for this whole video, by the way, in advance. If you haven't seen any of the movies we're talking about, I do apologize. We're gonna spoil some stuff.
Yeah, we'll bring up the movie time.
Yeah, we'll tell you the movie
Yeah.
beforehand. But no, Zoolander. I think the reason I can say it quote unquote shaped me is I find myself quoting it on accident all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
Like anytime I'm doing like a fake cough, I never do like a funny fake cough. It's always the Zoolander. It's always that. Or like what you were saying when people cheer you on, all that, like when someone says like, "Good job, man, you got it."
Yeah, I'm always like, thanks, Rico, I'll try.
Thanks, Rico, I'll try.
Yeah. Or when I'm pumping gas, I'll be like, anybody could die from a freak gasoline fight accident.
If I hear the song Jitterbug, I just burst out laughing now. Like, I hear the Jitterbug. And I just immediately start laughing. I'm like, God damn it. It's so good.
It's so good.
Zoolander, you are probably one of the only people I know in this world who can quote Zoolander top to bottom with me.
Yeah.
No one else I know can.
I think we've seen Zoolander together more times than I can count.
We've literally just been like sitting in a room bored like years ago where we're like, man, like there's nothing to do, and I'm just like, we could watch Zoolander, and you're like, we could, yeah. My favorite part of the whole movie is Hansel talking about him being on a mountain, and he's like, I'm climbing this mountain, and I start falling, He's like, and then I'm like, hey Hansel, haven't you been smoking weed, like peyote for the past few days, and maybe this is all just a big illusion? And it was. Well, cool story, Hansel.
It's so good.
The movie's so stupid that it's just hard not to laugh at Zoolander. It is one of my favorite movies. I've never watched it and not laughed.
Yeah, I might watch it when I go home tonight.
Yeah. Dude, I love Zoolander. It's so good.
It's so good.
Start to finish. Oh god, hands suck ass.
And
Solo. I think another one is like anytime I'm like making fun of somebody where I'm like calling them a dick. I'm like, that's bullshit. Mugatu's a dick. And I don't even call them by name. It's always Mugatu. And they're like, who's Mugatu? And I'm like, you haven't seen Zoolander? Really? What? Hello. Yeah, if you haven't seen Zoolander, you really do need to watch it. It's so good.
it's amazing.
And if you disagree, here it is. I'll start in the beginning. At me in the comments. Come get me.
Come get him.
Come get me, boy.
Bye.
So to move on, these have shaped me. I don't know about you, but I think in general these have kind of shaped how movies are slowly getting made now, and it's the Marvel movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They shaped me because I grew up reading Marvel comics. Like, I loved Marvel comics growing up. So, I mean, I was reading, you know, like Spider-Man comics. I was reading like the X-Men comics. I was a huge Captain America fan. Growing up, I loved the Captain America comics, and when they like brought that forward, I was like, oh my god. I think what's so fascinating about it, on where it shaped me at least, is it's weird to start, because these started in 2008. I saw these in theaters when they first came out with the first Iron Man, and it's been over 10 years. I mean, good God, dude. I mean, it is easy to say. It's 2020.
Yeah.
And I still cannot watch Endgame without getting choked up at least twice. There's 2 parts of the movie I will guarantee cry on.
Oh.
Straight up. And if you haven't seen Endgame, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Tony Stark dying freaking floored me in the theater. I went with Grub, and I was like, I was unresponsive for a moment. Because I started watching, like I said, the first, like, superhero movie I really ever saw and was like, wow about. So I'm like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but like,
yeah,
the first one I was so enthralled with was Iron Man. It's the first one in the MCU, and that's what started it all. So that happened. I mean, it floored me. And then the end of it, Captain America gets like this really good ending. I showed you all this.
Yeah, that was so touching.
It's so good. Like the whole premise of Captain America's arc has been like since the first movies. He just wanted his one dance with Peggy Carter, and he went back in time at the end of the movie, and he got it, and it floored me the first time I watched it. Like, and I think a big part of that is because I am such a huge Captain America fan. It's like everything I wish I could be as like a man is a good way to put it. Like, he's the pinnacle of like a good human. He's everything. It's awesome. The Lord made it. It ruined me. I mean, God. Dead. Just like Tony Stark, I too died when that happened.
Oh, no. That's one thing that I really applaud Marvel for doing, is they planned out everything. So it tied into each other and everything. And, like, I think that they just did that so brilliantly that it really touched the soul for these fictional characters. I thought it was phenomenal.
I think what's so cool about it too is because like I feel like I've had moments where I've seen other comic book movies, like I've seen the DC movies, or like I look at like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, or like the X-Men movies. I've been somewhat cynical where I'm like, that's not comic accurate. But I think it's more along the lines of it's not about it being comic accurate, because Marvel isn't as comic accurate as everyone thinks they are. They're very close, but they're not as accurate. I think it's more along the lines of like, it doesn't have that impact that Marvel has had, and not just because of these characters that I like or that I grew up watching. In general, these movies have had an insane impact. I mean, I grew up with these movies in 2008 to 2020, and I'm still like, if one comes out, I'm normally there the second, third day it's in theaters. There's nothing stopping me. I think I saw Endgame in theaters 3 times.
Really?
I saw Age of Ultron 5 times in theaters.
Wow.
I saw Civil War, the third Captain America. I don't even know how many times I saw it in theaters. I went alone a few times. It is so good.
That's how it was for the third Batman movie with Christian Bale.
Those are
I've seen the third Batman movie in theaters like 3 or 4 times.
Those movies are sick too.
So I respect the dedication.
Yeah.
To that Marvel.
Yeah, and one of the things that this sucks to an extent, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't. I mean, it does all around just kind of suck. Actually, I'm not that big a fan of DC. Comics wise, I'm not super duper into it, and I wholeheartedly will admit it is my own fault. I'm trying to think how to say this. That sound like a complete douchebag, you know?
Okay.
But I think it's the fans surrounding it. Is a good way to put it. And like, as a Marvel fan, don't get me wrong, I've talked enough smack about DC in my life. I don't care. But that doesn't negate the fact that DC has some amazing stories. Like the actual Batman v Superman comic, the original one, where The Dark Knight Returns is awesome. Superman Doomsday was like the first real comic where a major character got killed off. It's historical. It's awesome. The Killing Joke comic, whoa, it's so good. But that's where that's where I can end it, of like comics I've read from DC where I'm like, those are good. That's where it ends.
That's where it ends, man.
I wish I had more, and I've read several other DC comics. Like I've read a few Green Lanterns, like Green Lantern Darkest or like Blackest Night. It's really good, but it's not pinnacle worthy.
Yeah, like
it's good.
In my opinion, I would say my favorite superheroes. Number one is definitely Batman, which you probably know, and then Superman. Or not Superman. I hate Superman. I think he's a terrible superhero.
I was like, whoa.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man's that second.
Spider-Man's the shit. It's
yeah,
fine, dude.
But Marvel has done the movies more justice than I think DC ever will and ever can.
And that's where I was going with it, actually. Everyone... So, I will say one thing that does piss me off about DC movies, it's hard for me to watch them in general, is some of the cast members behind it, and not all of them. Like, Jason Momoa is a fantastic human being. I love Jason Momoa. Henry Cavill's amazing. I love him as a human. I loved Man of Steel. I'll say it right now. Man of Steel kicked ass. Henry Cavill, hashtag my Superman. I can't say it again, but you know, like at me in the comments or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
hashtag my Superman. But so then you have someone like Ezra Miller, who's just a douche. He's just a douchebag. And what doesn't help at all is when you have the person who's running DC's EU, the DC Extended Universe, and at their Comic-Con panel, this is going to be my first F-bomb of the whole thing, starts their Comic-Con panel with, "Fuck Marvel." Why?
Oh my goodness.
Why did you do that?
You don't do that.
And then everyone cheered, and I was like, look, if I was at a thing for that, and like Kevin Feige came out, I was like, yo, fuck DC. I'd want to cheer, don't get me wrong, but I was like, that. But I would immediately be like, why would... No, you're going to burn so many bridges. And that's what they did. Because what's so funny is when Justice League came out, it flopped apparently. I have seen it. I'll say that. I have seen it.
It's okay.
I disagree. It's shit. I
like the dude that plays Aquaman.
Yeah, Jason Momoa is awesome. The guy who played Cyborg apparently complained the whole time saying, "I don't want to say booyah." Really? Well, that's your catchphrase.
That's your catchphrase. I thought he did an awesome job as Cyborg.
I thought he was a great Cyborg too, but then I read all that and I was like, oh. So you're kind of a douche.
Yeah.
Then Henry Cavill crushed into Superman.
Yeah.
I don't even like Superman. As a comic character, I hate Superman.
I do too. I think he's the worst.
But Henry Cavill crushes it. He's so good at Superman.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, Henry,
It's
I
like,
see you.
I
I see you, Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah.
I see you crushing it out here, dude. But what sucks about the DC movies isn't even, like, it's not the movies themselves, and it's not a lot of the actors. Like, I hated Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Yikes.
Dude, I'm so happy he's going to be Morbius for Marvel. I think he's going to be a great Morbius, but DC had a big thing where they're very, like, controlling of what their characters are supposed to do.
Okay.
And Jared Leto was very vocal about, like, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of it because I didn't like how that worked. I thought Will Smith was a decent Deadshot. Deadshot's not put together in the comics. He's a lunatic. But hey, you know, it's DC. What are you going to do? Here's the whole issue I found with the DCEU. They rushed. They wanted to play the catch-up game.
Yeah.
And I understand why, but everyone would have happily waited for y'all to build your universe.
Definitely.
Because like I said, Man of Steel was so cool. It was really good. I loved it. Freaking Superman snapping Zod's neck at the end of it. I was like, hoo, get him! I loved it. And then we're doing Batman v Superman next. I was like, that's sick. I kind of like that we're doing that. And we don't have an established Batman, but like I think that's kind of cool. It's a good way to introduce the character to show this is like kind of in the Dark Knight Returns timeline. They just ruined it.
They ruined it,
They threw together the formation of the Justice League, Batman v Superman, plus Superman Doomsday in one film.
Yeah.
And the death of Superman, which in the comics is brutal. There's like this big parade and all the superheroes are there. It's like sad in the comics. And then in the movie, they're like, here's a gravestone that's black with Superman's name on it.
Yep.
What the
Like
I had to watch my language there.
They did such a good job, in my opinion, with Christian Bale's Batman, and then they just threw everything out the window. It was like that, all that hard work that they worked on, it just seems like it went to waste.
And then like, so the new Joker movie that's out is so good. It's the Joker. To an extent, but what I loved about it is it doesn't feel like a superhero movie, because it's not. It is straight up and down a case study on someone going psychotic, and it's so well done. It becomes the Joker when they incorporate Bruce Wayne in it as a kid.
Okay.
And Thomas Wayne is a major character. Alfred's in it. You see the death of Bruce Wayne's parents.
Oh wow!
It's really good. It's so good. They could have taken out the Bruce Wayne and the Thomas Wayne parts and named it anything else and put it in some other city, it still would have been an amazing movie. Period blank. It still would have been a fantastic movie as a character study. It is really good. Now, transitioning from like superhero movies and stuff, let me tell you something, Nick.
Okay, I'm here to learn.
Let me tell you something. Let me learn you a little something here. But if you would have told me 5 years ago, not even 5, if you would have told me in 2010, if you'd have sat me down in 2010 and said, Zach, Marvel's building a universe, you know this, and I would say, of course I do. I've seen the movies. I've seen like the 2 that are out. Of course I know.
Yeah.
And you said, here's a list of 5 companies that are going to do the same thing. Pick which one you think is going to be. And on that list, you had the DCEU, Harry Potter, I don't know, Trolls, sure, why not? I don't even know if there's a movie called Trolls, or like the little, there is,
yeah.
Trolls, and then you said they're building a Goonies cinematic universe too, which let me tell you, I'd go see it. They're not, but I'd see it. And then you were like, and Godzilla, they're gonna build a monster universe, and you said pick which one is gonna do the same thing Marvel is. You picked DC, right?
Yeah.
You'd be wrong. It's fucking Godzilla.
Oh my goodness.
The MonsterVerse is 3 movies deep, and it's fire.
Oh my.
Dude, I've never been more impressed with someone taking the formula that Marvel kind of put together and being like, here you go.
Those are movies I really need to check out, because I absolutely love Godzilla and like Mothra and King Ghidorah.
Yeah, I won't spoil them for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, you. The first one is just Godzilla, and then you have Kong Skull Island.
Kong. Really?
Kong
they went there.
It's a prequel to Godzilla. So good.
Yes.
And then you have Godzilla King of Monsters, and boy, I don't know if you watched the old movies growing up.
Yeah.
Where you played like Destroy All Monsters Melee.
You know I did.
You know that little chirp King Ghidorah always did, that weird chirp? Yeah, they kept that in.
Yes.
King Ghidorah. I became 3 years old in the movie theater. I became a child. Ghidorah came on screen, and I was like, oh my god! It's like there's like these little kids and stuff here, like, what's that? I'm like, I'm gonna punch a child.
And you're like, excuse me, little sir.
Yeah, excuse me, little sir. Like, get out of here, nerd.
Dude, yeah, I gotta catch up on those. Yeah,
they're so good.
I loved even you remember like, what was it, Godzilla 2000?
The one with Matthew Broderick, I think is his name.
I think so.
Where they like messed up Godzilla's appearance and he had babies and stuff.
Yeah, I even loved that movie. I hated it.
I
just love Godzilla. Anything to do with Godzilla, I absolutely love.
As a kid, I loved it, and I'll tell you.
I haven't rewatched it as an adult, so maybe I should.
It'll ruin your life. I'll give you a fun little embarrassing story about me. When I was a kid and I saw it, I was very young when it came out. And my parents took me to see it, and I cried at the end of it because they killed Godzilla. I was like, why would they do that? Because I had watched like the other ones, and I was like, oh my god, I like bawled my eyes out as a child. Like my mother had, my dad had literally carried me out of the theater because I was like unresponsibly. Like, let me tell you, I definitely cried harder at Endgame as a almost 30-year-old man. I'll admit it. I don't care. So good.
I feel like Endgame hit a lot of people in the feels, though.
I've never been hit harder in my life.
I haven't seen Endgame yet. I've seen memes.
I know. What's so funny
the
is,
memes made me tear up.
What's so funny is, like, we had talked about it, and you were like, yeah, like, I want to watch them all, but, like, spoil it for me. What are the best parts? And I was like, to YouTube, we go.
Yeah.
Because I showed you the best parts. I mean, like, you tell me. Like,
I'm, like, tearing up here on the couch.
I know, right? When I was talking, could you tell my voice changed when I was talking about it? It's still, I'll say it, it fucks me up still. It's so good.
They just did it so beautifully.
I know, it's so well done. Like, if you did not get chills when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, you're not human. You're a demon.
You're a demon, yeah.
And you need to go back to hell where you belong.
That's fair.
That's fair. So speaking of spooky things, there's one movie, which I've shown you, the original, and I've shown you snippets from the new one.
Oh.
Halloween.
Oh, yes. I want to see the new one so bad.
Dude. So...
I'm afraid to watch them alone, though.
I'll hold your hand, baby.
Okay.
I got you, girl.
Okay.
So, growing up, as you know, I'm like a resident horror nerd over here.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen our studio that I decorated with Michael Myers posters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a horror nerd. Growing up it's so weird. I was very afraid of like my own shadow growing up when I was much younger, and what broke me of that is I was it like a Blockbuster and Halloween was there, and I asked my parents if I could watch it, and my parents were like, sure, but you can't stay up all night and freak out. So I watched it and I fell in love with horror movies. And I'm not gonna go into the whole deep dive of Halloween, but if you're gonna see Halloween, see the original like 1972 version, and then go see the 2018 version. The 2018 is the actual sequel. The rest of them don't count. But Halloween kind of shaped how horror worked. It was very effective in horror. There weren't really like slasher movies to an extent. There were some, but they weren't like major motion pictures. And then Halloween was like a B movie.
Oh, really?
And it's so weird to think. So Jamie Lee Curtis is the leading star, and she's like
Jamie Lee Curtis.
She queen, girl. She's the queen. She is the scream queen, and it's so weird because it shaped how horror movies work. You get a lot more like ambience in the background with horror movies, because that was one of my favorite things about Halloween is you have to watch the background of the original kind of. Because there's just going to be points where you're just going to see half of that white mask. It's so well done. It's so well done. Halloween, dude, I mean, that kind of started my journey of being obsessed with things like horror movies and like weird, like macabre kind of stuff. It kind of started that, and here I am.
Mine was Friday the 13th.
Oh, I love Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I remember I was upstairs playing Rampage on the N64, and I walked downstairs and my mom's watching Friday the 13th, and I was like, I'll sit down here and watch it with her. It scarred me.
Like, ruined me.
Like,
it didn't have the same effect it did on me, huh?
No,
yeah, it made you a lot different.
Yeah, I think what really got me into horror movies was us hanging out, because I think we watched, I want to say Insidious?
Yeah, I think I showed you Insidious. And then I showed you, like, House of a Thousand Corpses and, like, Devil's Rejects.
That really, like, that's what kicked me. Insidious, like, I love those movies.
So good.
Same with The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I love The Conjuring.
It's really good. Horror's kind of, like, dying out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really sad.
There's a few really good horror movies still, which I think we talked about it in one of our podcasts. I told you, like As Above, So Below is, like, pinnacle of, like, horror for me right now, of like more new horror aside the new Halloween. As Above, So Below, man, it's a ride.
That's the one with the French catacombs, right?
Yes. Yes.
I remember seeing previews for that. I really wanted to see that.
It's so good, man. It's freaking scary. I like you know me. I love horror movies. It is hard to make me watch a horror movie. I do not jump. I jumped 4 times in that movie. There's one part I about came out of my skin during one of them. Another movie that Kimberly and I just watched, dude, it's on Netflix. It's called Apostle.
Apostle?
You ain't ready for Apostle. I was not prepared for Apostle. Kimberly and I got done and we were like, whoa, we need to take a break. It's a ride. It's more of a ride than As Above, So Below.
Oh, wow.
It's
I'll
a good one.
both of those out.
Yeah, Apostle's a good one. As Above, So Below is on Netflix as well. Those are two great recommendations, guys. Apostle and As Above, So Below are both on Netflix. You need to go watch them if you like horror. They're so good. They're not entry-level horror movies, though.
They're not
no, those are not entry-level.
Okay.
Those are like good luck.
Okay, so what horror movie would I need to prep
For like
those?
entry-level?
No, for like As Above, So Below.
Oh, like what should you watch?
Yeah, like what's a good like preparation?
Nah, just go into it.
Just go
into it.
Okay,
Just
fair enough.
Put on your big boy panties and roll, son.
All right,
Do it.
I will.
So aside from like horror movies and all that, because we do have our list as always, you have Atlantis written down.
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Atlantis for me was I love that movie. I know it's childish.
It's awesome.
It's an animated movie.
It's awesome.
That movie was like when I think I really fell in love with movies, just because of the mystery. I like that they were like, for some reason I love the ocean.
Yeah.
Like I love like sea life and stuff, and
It's
like
spooky down there.
it is. There's like so many mysteries, dude.
That'd be a good podcast.
Oh,
Ideas
yeah.
for later.
Ideas for
The
later.
ocean.
Yeah.
It's a spooky podcast. Anyway.
Yeah, there's so many mysteries, and I just loved like the concept of like this lost civilization, and then they find it, and then he's like, spoiler, if you haven't seen Atlantis, like you're probably like 3 years old, but like,
Fact.
like just the fact that like he goes and he falls in love with the civilization, and he like fights for it, and they're like, all right, we're going back home, and he's like, nah, bruh.
Nah, bro.
I'm staying
Okay,
here.
bye.
Yeah, he's like, I'm staying here. Everything about that movie, I think that's when I truly fell in love with movies. And it broke my heart because we had a family friend, and he was like, you'll never be able to own that movie. It says it's only in theaters. So that will never be on DVD. You can only see it in theaters, and then it's gone forever. And that crushed my soul.
What a dick.
Right? I loved that movie so much. And then when it came out on DVD, like it's like, snap. Like, I don't know. What do you think about Atlantis? Do you think it's a good movie? Am I overhyping it?
No,
or...
it's a fucking masterpiece. Dude. Oh, God. It's so good. I mean, holy crap. Animate. It's kind of spooky in areas,
Yeah.
too. It's got a good little, like, horror vibe in, like, two little areas. I'll ruin those.
Yeah,
the big
ahead.
creature thing with the big pincers.
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me.
Same.
And then when Homie touches the rock...
Oh,
and he
yeah.
gets all molten. Oh, God, that's a creepy scene. He's, like, glowing red. He's turned into rock, and he's got, like, cracks in him and stuff. And he's, like, just smiling, like, maniacally, like, crawling up this thing. I was like, what is this? This is for children.
This is a children's movie.
Doesn't feel like it anymore.
No.
It is really good. Atlantis is
Yeah.
awesome, man. I really do love that movie.
Yeah.
God.
That was like when you were like movies. That was like the first movie that came to my mind because I love that movie. That and The Fox and the Hound, which I think will speak for itself.
Oh, dude, yeah, you've been. I've seen The Fox and the Hound, and it is a fantastic film. It really is.
Yeah.
Ever since I've like known you, you've always talked about The Fox and the Hound. Like, it's so weird. I've never met anybody who can think back to that kind of childhood film and be like, oh, this movie detriments me to this day.
Yeah. I
Like,
love that movie.
You do love that movie.
I still have. So fun, weird fact about me. When I was a child, I found a stuffed fox in a box when I was like, I think like 3-ish.
Yeah.
And I still have that stuffed fox sitting in my apartment on my desk, just sitting there.
really?
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
named it Todd after
That's
the Fox and the
fantastic.
Hound. Yeah.
What's so funny is I remember there was one year for Christmas, because I was.
I still have it.
The painting?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, there was one year I was like a loss for Christmas for you. I always got you like prime gifts. I love gift giving, by the way. I love Christmas. It's not my favorite. Halloween's the best holiday period. Blank.
Yeah.
Don't care. But I love Christmas just 'cause I don't like getting gifts. I don't really care. Someone could be like, here's a crisp high five for Christmas. I'll be like, dude, I love it. Like, it's easy as that. Like, literally, for the past, 3 years on my birthday, I've told everybody, just let me come to your house, buy me a bottle of Lambrusco wine, let me get drunk and play video games in your basement. I say that every year to my buddy Cody, and that is what we do. They give me like a little tiny like knick-knack gifts, but I'm like, you don't have to do this. But dude, Christmas, I go nuts.
You do.
Oh, dude, I love buying stuff for people. I don't know why. I don't know why I love buying crap for people, but I'm like, this would be perfect. Oh, dude, like, it's August. Come October, I will be Christmas shopping. Oh, no, I'm serious. I start in October. I'm done by my birthday in November. This way in December, I'm good. Everyone's freaking out. And I'm like, that sucks. You should have thought about that.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was at a loss for you one year, and I was just like, what am I going to get him? God damn it. I was just lost. And then finally, I walked into I was at an art store in Atlanta with one of my friends. She was like, I'm going to go to this art store. I was like, yeah, let's go. And I walked out of this art store, and I was walking out, and I saw this like painting, and I was like, is that a fox? I walked back in, and it was a hand-painted fox by a local Atlanta artist, and I was like, how much is that painting? And I'm not going to say the price. And they're like, it's X amount that you shouldn't spend here. And I said, sold.
I still have it. It's oh my gosh. That is one of my favorite possessions besides my stuffed fox. It's that abstract painting
it's cool.
of the fox. It is
really
so cool. It's still hanging at my parent's house. But I'm having to fight my parents to like get that back because they're like, we love it. And I was like, I do want it.
Yeah, I bought it for you. I'll call your mother right now. Be like, listen up.
I think she uses it as her background for her Zoom calls.
Well, she shouldn't. It's yours.
I love it so much. It's so cool. Anyway, back to movies.
So let's talk about what's going on, like with everything with movies and COVID and all that. I mean,
yeah.
Do you think movies are going to come back in 2020?
I don't think 2020. They're talking about a vaccine, but I know like a lot of people like that movie culture where you go to the cinema, you get your popcorn, and you sit down and you watch the big movie. And I really respect that culture, and I hope it comes back someday because there's nothing better than going to a midnight premiere. It's so much fun.
It's so good.
Yeah.
We've gone to so many.
Yeah.
Me and you have been to a lot of midnight premieres, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure we went to Captain America: Winter Soldier.
And I think that when we went. I think we saw The Conjuring.
Me and you did Conjuring, Winter Soldier. I think we did Annabelle as well. Me and you did.
We did.
We did Annabelle. God, we did a few. I think we didn't do Insidious. Remember, they put Jurassic Park back in theaters, and me and you went to Mall of Georgia at midnight, and they were like, "Oh, we're sold out of tickets." And then the guy was like, "Wait, I have 2 seats," and we were like, "Well, take them." And we had the worst seats, but we were like, "We don't even care."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
midnight premieres are like
we had
something
so
else.
much fun.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to a midnight premiere, dude, it's unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's so cool to be there, especially when you have people who are such big fans of things like that, who are all in there at the same time. Like because I know we did Winter Soldier, and after that I actually never went to another midnight premiere for a Marvel movie.
Oh.
And the only reason I didn't go for Marvel movies is because my nerdiness has to flow, and I can't let it flow when there's a bunch of people screaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it would be cool for the experience. Like, after seeing the reactions to Endgame's midnight premiere, I was like, oh my god, I should have gone. I would have lost my mind. It was, oh god. But regardless, no, midnight premieres, man. I really do hope that movie theaters come back because, god, I love midnight premieres. I just love going to the movies, though.
It's almost like when you go to a midnight premiere, it's almost like you're there. Like, you could have strangers in front of you, behind you, but it's like you're all friends.
You're there with, it feels like you're there with people you've known forever. I don't think I've ever been to a midnight premiere where we didn't end up making friends with people like next to us.
Yeah.
We always had fun.
Yeah.
They're so good. Like they're just good times.
It's good times.
Midnight
I hope they come back.
Me freaking too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I know in our weekly update we talked about Marvel's looking at releasing like Black Widow on Disney Plus, and don't get me wrong, I'm being real crappy, and I'm just like, just do it, because I'm sick of waiting. I need to see this film. I love the Marvel movies. I have to see how this is going to go down, because if you've seen Endgame, she didn't make it. And this is a prequel. This takes place after Civil War, so I'm like,
okay,
what's going to happen? You're introducing characters that are part of the Thunderbolts, and you have Thunderbolt Ross in the movie. Just give me the movie.
Give it to me.
The nerdiness inside me is like overflowing lately. It's like vomit. It's like word vomit. Someone's like, yeah, man, did you hear about this Marvel movie? I'm like, they're making a Blade movie. I watched it live at Comic-Con. It's so I get brutal with it. Well, it's also like another big reason I'm really hoping the movies come back. So a movie that I was looking forward to this year got delayed. Aside Black Widow. So like I told you, there's the original Halloween, then there's Halloween 2018. They have 2 more coming out.
Oh.
And it was supposed to come out October 2020, and they pushed it to October 2021. I am butthurt.
Wow, that's
I
a year.
am butthurt. I have to wait a whole extra year to see what happens with Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. You shitting me? Thanks, I hate it.
This is weird. It's just weird, the world that we live in now.
Yeah.
It's just, hopefully things get better.
I really do hope things get better. Not just for the movie's sake, obviously, but in general. But since we are talking about movies, I mean, I have never realized, because I know I said this a little bit in the weekly update podcast, like, I really do love going to the movies. I have never realized until I wasn't allowed to go to movie theaters how much I genuinely miss movie theaters. It's sad too to like drive by one and it's just like shut down and like
there's no posters.
It looks like the apocalypse. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence how I feel about these streaming services doing movies, because don't get me wrong, I love sitting on my own couch.
Oh yeah.
Watching a movie on my own TV and whatnot, but like you don't know how much you miss something until it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
110%, man. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I do love being able to be like, I want to watch something. Oh, Disney Plus has it. Awesome. That's sick. I love that ability, but it's like, it's just not the same.
Microwave popcorn is not the same as movie popcorn.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
I can't get a big old pretzel in my microwave. Like, bro, I want Cinnabites.
I want Cinnabites.
I want Cinnabites in a $25 large Coke. Like, what the fuck? Open the theaters. It sounds so dumb to say that, but like, I legitimately, it's so funny because I'm like, every time I go to the theater, I'm like, I gotta sneak in candy or something, and I never do. I just spend the money. I'm like, whatever, screw it.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks? One of the last movie I saw in theaters. I don't know what the last thing I was. I think the last thing I saw in theaters was Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
So it wasn't even a good movie. It was like a crap film. I was like, I'm gonna go see this with a group of people. And it got done, and I was like, well, that sucked.
You want to know what mine was?
Oh, God, what?
Okay, I can't remember the release date. It was either Sausage Party.
Wow.
Or Logan.
Dude.
Yeah. Logan was a phenomenal movie, by the way. I loved that movie.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
You didn't like Logan?
Okay.
You didn't like the little she-wolf?
No, I didn't. Okay,
she was
not
awesome.
No, that is not X-23. Wrong. Go. Okay, here.
Okay, comic nerd.
Yeah. You opened this.
I did.
Words, idiot. You're lucky we only have like 5 minutes available because I could go about this for hours.
We will after the podcast.
We will. So here's my whole issue with the X-Men movies in general. First X-Men movie, pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Solid. Second one, Third one, no. Just no. The Wolverine solo film, the first one where it was just the Wolverine, or X-Men Origins Wolverine. How dare you do that to Deadpool?
Yeah, that was disgraceful.
Freaking dare you! I am so happy that Deadpool's been fixed. I am so happy Ryan Reynolds got to stay in the role, and I'm also really happy that it is a part of the MCU now. Thank God. Not gonna explain how it is, because trust me, my nasty little comic book brain has picked apart every little inch of those movies and be like, this is how it fits into the Marvel Universe. Like, dude, I can't go into it. It'll take an hour and a half. But so, then they did like the prequel movies, and I was like, these suck.
Yeah.
Like, First Class was okay. I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Love him as Magneto. James McAvoy, hashtag you guessed it, not my Charles Xavier. Patrick Stewart, hashtag they better recast him in Marvel because Marvel has the rights to X-Men now. Kevin Feige, do it. Anyway, I just they announced Logan and I was like, all right, the trailer had me sold. The original trailer that I saw was 30 seconds. It was black and white, and it was just old man Logan who was in a bathroom, and Johnny Cash's Hurt was playing over it, and I was like, that's how you get me. I'm a sucker for Johnny Cash. It's the scene where he's in the bathroom and he's like shaking because he's so like old and he's like trying to drink the scotch. Yeah. And he's like shaking. He's like covered in all like the scars and stuff. And it's just that scene that shows that he takes this big swig and it fades to black and you just hear Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier go, Logan, what did you do? And it's just Logan. And I was like, whoa, hold on, boys. We might save X-Men. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, they didn't. Got it. Here's my thing.
It was good and bad at the same time.
I love the X-Men
I don't
comics.
like the dude that couldn't go out in the sun. I thought that was redundant.
Yeah. I love the X-Men comics. I love the X-Men original show. I mean, oh my god, I love it. And I think the reason I'm such a nerd about X-Men is I truthfully love Stan Lee. Like, I cried when he died, 100%.
Yeah, that broke me. That was hard.
It broke me. And I think one of the big reasons I was so drawn to X-Men growing up, even because you knew me in high school, it was very, very different in high school, very alternative. Like even to this day, just a lot more acceptable now. Stan Lee had said, "I wanted to write a comic that was inclusive. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like or dress like or what you think your problems are. You are your own person, and you are special." And it resonated with me growing up, like being that weird kid in high school and like being the like not outcast but like somewhat of an outcast in high school. Like I had friends obviously, but like on a social norm I was an outcast, and it just resonated me. So the X-Men movies are supposed to be about that, and they didn't do a good job of it, and it like broke me a little bit, and then Logan just ruined it. Because Old Man Wolverine in the comics, if you're going to tackle that comic story arc, Marvel has to have your rights, because you need Hulk, you need Green Arrow, Jesus, no, you need Hawkeye, you need Kingpin, you need Jane Foster Thor, you need Marvel, you need Captain Marvel, you need the Blonde, you need a lot of characters, and you were like, nah, here's our attempt. I'm like, okay, yeah, thanks a lot. Stupid.
Was a non-comic book nerd.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really liked the little mini Wolverine. I thought she was dope. I thought she was really cool.
I do hate that. I actually really hate that I hated it. That's the part that sucks. I don't like disliking things. And I've told that to you. I hate when I dislike something, because especially when everyone likes it. There's almost this thing of like, am I just an asshole? Like, am I in the wrong? And then I watch it and I'm like, no, I just don't like it. And I hate that.
If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah, like, I hate when I dislike something that everyone's like, it's so good. I'm like, yeah. It's not to me at least. But hey, you know what? That's why it's called Careless Opinion.
That's why it's called Careless Opinion.
That's why it's called Careless Opinion. Speaking of Careless Opinion, that's all we have for Careless Opinion.
That's all we got today.
That's all the time we got, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for movies. We had fun with this. We would love to do more movie podcasts and nerdy podcasts because we're nerds. Yeah. We suck. And to Nick's hate, I'm going to say this once again. Guys, we're almost to 50 followers.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I remember.
Still going on about it.
Still going on about that old trick, huh? So we're almost 50 followers, guys. Thank you, guys. Seriously, that's awesome.
Thank you.
We're actually just checking the stuff on our channel. We're at 255 views as of recording, and that could change at any time. We do want to. We do mean it, guys. This has been a lot of fun for us. Thank you. And we do want to do something special. We hit 50. We actually want to give you guys a really weird podcast. We're going to do Embarrassing Stories podcast. Yeah. Where we're going to tell really embarrassing crap about one another. Because when you know someone since kindergarten, you know a lot of embarrassing crap about them. Yeah, you do. Ain't that right, Nick? Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys help us get to 50, that'd be fantastic. You'll listen to Nick squeal and scream through the podcast, but it'll be really funny.
For you.
Yeah, trust me. When you get to tell my embarrassing story, you'll have fun because I will cringe the whole time. I will be really disappointed.
I'm just gonna sit here and bite on a piece of chalk.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a spoon in my little wooden spoon and be like, "This is like torture. I'd rather get waterboarded."
So true.
Yeah, because the story I want to tell about you is brutal.
Yes.
Yeah, and with that note, guys, we just gotta end these the same way. Don't you dare leave this channel without liking it,
Commenting,
subscribing,
sharing,
caring,
clicking that bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload next.
and you better follow us on Instagram. Which you know how you can do that?
How do you do that?
It's really easy. If you're on a computer, you can go to our channel, our beautiful little YouTube channel, and we have a little Instagram icon on our banner. You click it, and it takes you to Instagram.
Cool.
If you're on your smartphone or your tablet, what you get to do then is you go to our bio on the page. It says, follow us on Instagram. You click it, and it opens your Instagram account because, dude, technology. Technology. And with that note, we will see you guys next time.
Podcast.